The next time you need to create a batch of PowerPoint slides, don't use PowerPoint. In this video tutorial, I'll show you 3.5 ways to batch slides. Creating PowerPoint presentations is one task I absolutely despise. This video will cover how to quickly create a batch of PowerPoint slides from a CSV file without even opening PowerPoint. Implementing one of these workflows can save you a ton of time in the future, especially if creating batches of slides is a daily, weekly, or monthly requirement. These workflows are suitable for creating PowerPoint presentations to display daily menu items, upcoming sports events, weekly goals or quotes, onboarding, training, speaker intros, you name it. If you're interested in learning about these alternative workflow options, keep watching. As a graphic designer, one of my go-to tools for creating PowerPoint presentations is InDesign. Data merge makes it even easier to create a batch of slides from a CSV file. In InDesign, my file is already set up. I have a placeholder for my slide background, emoji, emoji name, and description. I'm going to import this data using data merge in InDesign. For any images you want to use in your data merge, you'll need to label those columns with an @ symbol. Make sure to include a single quote first, then type in the @ symbol. Otherwise, you'll receive an error. I'm going to save my Excel file as a CSV. In InDesign, click on the Window menu, hover over Utilities, and click Data Merge. Select your data source and press Open. I'm going to replace my placeholder text with my data merge fields. Click Preview and review before moving on to the next step. In the Data Merge panel, click on the icon in the top right and select Create Merge Document. We're going to leave it as all records and press OK. Go to the File menu and export as a PDF. Check off View PDF after exporting. Once the file has been exported, it'll open up in Adobe Acrobat. From the File menu, click Export to Microsoft PowerPoint Presentation. If you leave this checked off, your PowerPoint presentation will open automatically. Although I said you wouldn't have to open PowerPoint at the beginning of the video, you may be required to adjust some things on your slides. The presentation looks pretty good. We just need to adjust these text boxes for a few of these slides. However, you can see that all the text is editable. And you can also move around the images if you want. The export actually grouped the background and the emoji image. All I need to do is double click and I can move around the emoji image if I need to. Next, I'll show you how to use Microsoft Word to create a batch of slides. Yes, you heard me right, Microsoft Word. For this next example, I'll use a pretend basketball game schedule. If you don't have access to InDesign and need to batch slides, you can also do that in Word. If you want to include images in your mail merge for Word, include the full path to it. If you're on Windows, you'll have backslashes instead of forward slashes, and you'll need to replace each backslash with 2 backslashes. I've already exported my Excel file into a CSV. In Word, I've already got my slide design laid out. I've used a table for some of the game data to keep things contained. One thing to note is that I've set the table columns for the logos to a fixed column width instead of auto-fit. When I insert an image, the image will resize to my column width rather than inserting it at its original size. For the page settings, you'll want to create a custom size. Since Word documents are meant to be printed, there isn't an option to select pixel dimensions. I found this size to work great. You may need to adjust this based on the screen you're displaying this on. To create a custom page size, click on the Paper Size drop-down menu. Select Manage Custom Sizes. Click on the Add button, and click on the name to rename it. After a lot of experimenting, I found that this works best when the width is set to 7.5 and the height to 13.33. In the Page Setup dialog box, you'll need to ensure that Landscape is selected. You might have to play around with it and see what works for you. I've inserted the background image into the document header. For this particular example, we're not switching the background image. It'll be the same for each slide. Click on the Mailings tab. Click on Select Recipients. Select Use an Existing List. Navigate to your CSV file. Select Open. Everything looks good here. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to replace my placeholder text with my merge fields. The layout is looking a little bit wonky, but we'll fix that in a little bit. For the image, we'll need to insert field braces. You'll need to do this with commands. They can't be typed in. On Mac, press Command F9 or Command Function F9, depending on how your function keys are set up on your Mac. On Windows, type Control F9. Ensure that your cursor is in between the 2 brackets. Type in Include Picture, all one word, and insert 2 double quotes. Move your cursor so it's in between the 2 double quotes. Insert your image mail merge field. Although it looks like nothing has happened, trust the process. Since export as PDF isn't an option for mail merge in Word for Mac, If your document doesn't include any mail merge images, you can print the document to a PDF. Since I'm using mail merge images, I'll need to take one extra step. First, I'm just going to click Preview to preview my results. Click Finish and Merge and select Edit Individual Documents. Although it looks like the images weren't merged, you still have one more step to take. Press Command A to select all and press F9 or Function F9. Now you can see that all my images have come through. Next, you'll want to ensure that your page is set up correctly. Go to the File menu and select Page Setup. You're going to want to select your custom size and ensure that this is changed from portrait to landscape and press OK. Then we're going to go back to the File menu and select Print. From here, we're going to use the Save as PDF option. From the File menu, click Export to Microsoft PowerPoint Presentation. If you're using any other fonts than the standard fonts that come with Word for Mac, and you use the File, Save As option, and save your PDF this way, Word will actually replace all the fonts in your document with Calibri, which isn't what we want. For the last and final way of creating a batch of PowerPoint slides without using PowerPoint, we'll use Canva. You'll need a Canva Pro account so that you can use the Bulk Create feature. In Canva, I've selected a layout for my slides. Click on Bulk Create in the sidebar. Since I already have a CSV file, I'm going to select Upload CSV. You'll need an element for each of your CSV fields. I only have 3 elements on this page. If I wanted to include the date, I would need to combine those in my CSV file into one column, and then I could insert it here as well. In my design, I'm going to select on an element, click on the 3 dots, and select Connect Data. Now, this will only work if you don't have any images you want to add. I do have images for my slides, so first I'm going to upload them into Canva by dragging and dropping them. If you do have images you want to add, instead of uploading a CSV file, you're going to need to enter the data manually. What you can do is you can copy and paste your data from your CSV file. From here, click on Add an Image, which will give you an image column. Select the images for each of your items in your list. So now I've got my image in here. Now I can hit Continue. And see here that each of my images have come in for each of my menu items. I might need to do a little bit of adjusting, just like I had to with our first option. Next, I'm going to click on Share and select More and Save as Microsoft PowerPoint. Now you can see here, my PowerPoint is ready. What other workflows are you looking to redesign or improve? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos. Thanks for watching.